Yeah, you know, we've somewhat changed our approach to preseason this year. So, you know, it's really hard to kind of compare it from year to year. But so far, we're excited about where we are. We're where we think we should be. You know, I mean, we have a young team, so, you know, maybe install is a little slower than usual, but we certainly haven't fallen behind there. If anything, we're maybe a little ahead in the install department than we expected at this point. I think that the team morale is incredibly high. I think, you know, that's kind of what you get with a young team. You know, a young team, you usually get that enthusiasm and that excitement that comes with being young, and we certainly have seen that at camp.
Preseason's been going really well, actually. I'm surprised everyone came back, and you can tell they'd all been working hard over the summer. We had the conditioning test, everyone flew through that. You can tell guys physically bigger, especially two people that really stood out to me was Patrick Wright and Jack Powers. Just Jack. They gained so much weight, it was unbelievable, actually. So everyone's been getting the defense in really well on my side of the football, and the offense looks like they're clicking on all cylinders as well. So we're rolling through preseason pretty well.
Preseason's been awesome. I think in my 4 years here, this is definitely the most competitive camp that we've had. We've got a lot of unproven guys this year because the theme has really been youthfulness, but we've got a chance to be really, really good. A lot of guys have really picked it up from last year. I'm excited about it.
Well, you know, coming into this year, you know, I think that the Generals football team is extremely young. You know, we lost some really good players to graduation, and we've lost some to some career-ending injuries. And so, you know, we find ourselves at a point where we're seeing a lot of young guys in the mix here in camp, a great camp for competition. You know, so really all our focus right now is game one, Averett playing down there, and you know, really trying to get our offense and defense installed to prepare for that week one. You know, as we look down the season as a whole, you know, our goals are what they've been for the last 4 and 5 years. You know, come week 8 or 9 to be in the hunt for the conference championship.
The team has one goal. That's one thing that we captains talk with Coach Abel a lot about. The team only has one goal. Okay, that's to be as good as we can be for week 1. That's the only thing on our minds right now. We want to be as good as we can be for when we play in Danville, we play Averett week 1. That's the goal right now. Now, we win that game, then maybe we can start talking about winning 2, winning 3. But I find, especially last year, you know, you look ahead too much and you say, which games do we need to win to be competitive, you know, in week 8 and 9? And who are the guys that we really need to watch the schedule for? And you get to start worrying about things that I don't think are too important. So for me, the team has one goal, to be as good as you can be on week 1. And then after that, it's how good can you be for week 2 and 3 and so on and so forth.
You know, initially after kind of 5 days of evaluation here with our players, I think the first strength that really pops out to me is our overall team speed. You know, I think we run very well on both sides of the football. You know, and then after that, you know, defensively, we feel really good about where we are. You know, we think the last couple of years, you know, we've installed a new defense and worked hard to get the right kids in the right places for that defense. And, you know, the graduating classes the last couple of years have done a great job of buying into Coach O'Brien and their plan and building a foundation. And so with our returning kids, we lost some really good players, but we feel like we have some really good defensive players returning and some guys who've been waiting to play. And yeah, I see that as a real strength for our program right now. Yeah, I think probably the number one area that we want to see improvement in, and I think every Generals fan would agree with me on this, is that we need to see improvement in our passing game. You know, certainly we're never going to be that passing game that's going to set records. You know, that's not our goal. But our goal is certainly to have a passing game that threatens the defense, that puts pressure on them, and can make big plays when called upon. And you know, we just weren't able to get that going last year. You know, as well as we ran the football, you know, it makes for some long games, some long drives when you constantly have to, you know, put 10 to 15 play drives together. And so, you know, we've worked hard in the off season to try to give our guys, you know, some confidence there, to try to build on what we think our strengths are in that area. And you know, camp, I would say this so far has gone really well for us there. You know, so we're excited about that. But I think that's a big key. We need to see improvement there, and I think the improvement there will probably go a long way to us being able to really see our goals achieved or not. Yeah, you know, I got a couple names that come to mind, but I'll just strictly go off maybe the first 5 days of practice, and I'll pick out one or two on both sides. On the defensive side of the football, there's a couple young DBs, David Hogan, that I think by the end of the season people know his name, and Michael Shields, you know, Dominic Volpe, you know, some young, you know, Gray Ream, some young defensive backs that are exciting to watch run around. Then offensively, a couple of names that come to mind: Walker Brand, who's a kid from Roanoke, not too far from here. Has had a great first 5 days. Could be playing in a couple different running back positions. And a kid by the name of Duncan Maxwell. You know, they've both been pretty impressive here these first 5 days when they touch the football. And I think they both have big play capability, and that's what every offense coordinator wants to see.